What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the MMA Fast. Today, let's get started with Kamaru Usman points to reason why Chimaev insists on Pereira callout. Kamaru Usman thinks Khamzat Chimaev likely struggles to make 185 pounds. The UFC middleweight champion continues to call out light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira, despite not having defended his belt once. Chimaev claimed the 185-pound title with a dominant performance against Dricus du Plessis at UFC 319. For Khamzat Chimaev to continue to call him out, I think Khamzat potentially has outgrown the weight class again to where now he's like, let me go to a new division where I can make the weight and I can capture that. Khamzat is a big guy. Khamzat has always been a big guy. So I think Khamzat Chimaev might potentially be in that same ballpark, which is potentially why he's asking for Poatan. And if that's the case, I understand it. Now it makes sense. If you've outgrown the weight class, it makes sense. Chimaev was open in saying that he'd rather not defend his belt against top contender Nassourdine Imavov, who is a fellow Russian fighter. And if I go up there and I'm able to get that title, guess what? That opens the door for another Russian in Nassourdine Imavov to get that middleweight title or potentially fight for that title. So hey, it might be chess pieces being played here. Daniel Cormier says Alexander Volkanovski is undoubtedly the greatest featherweight of all time. Daniel Cormier thinks Alexander Volkanovski solidified his status as featherweight champion with the win at UFC 325. Volkanovski retained his 145-pound title after defeating Diego Lopes a second straight time by unanimous decision Saturday at Kudos Bank Arena in Sydney. Volkanovski tied Jose Aldo for most UFC featherweight title wins at 8. Aldo was long considered the greatest featherweight of all time after notching a division record 7 consecutive title defenses. While that record is still intact, Cormier thinks Volkanovski's resume has surpassed the King of Rio. Nobody wants to fight Movsar Evloev. Nobody wants to fight Lerone Murphy. Volk is like, well, if they're next, that's who I'm fighting. He's not trying to pick fights. He's not trying to get the easiest path. He just wants to fight those guys. I'm telling you, he's the greatest featherweight of all time. I know we love Jose Aldo. I know we love Max Holloway. But Volkanovski just won his 8th UFC featherweight title fight. 4 of those victories are against Holloway and Aldo, the 2 other guys considered the greatest featherweights of all time. It was Volkanovski's night. He's the best in the world, and he's as good as they come. The guy is tremendous, and I really don't see him slowing down anytime soon. Michael Morales won't show Islam Makhachev respect in potential UFC title fight. Michael Morales isn't intimidated by the aura of Islam Makhachev. Makhachev has had a dominant run under the UFC banner. He has suffered just 1 loss in his pro MMA career back in 2015, and he's gone on to become an active legend in the sport. Not only did Makhachev break the record for the most successful UFC lightweight title defenses, but he's now the reigning welterweight title holder after dominating Jack Della Maddalena back in November 2025. Despite all the accolades, Morales doesn't see an immovable object. I won't show him much respect. He's an athlete just like me. He's a person just like me. I just see him as a person who I want to take the title from. Sure, he has his legacy and history, but that's his, not mine. I'm doing my own thing, and I've worked hard to get what I have, so I won't give him that respect of, oh, he's the champion. I have to give him all the praise. No, I also want to be champion. I've set in my head that I'm going to work hard to take the title away from somebody. That's my dream, and that's my priority. I don't care who I have to beat. I'm not going to idolize anyone. I want to take the title. I don't care if it's against Makhachev or anyone else. I want to be champion, and I'm preparing very hard to do that. I want to get a knockout and leave with the belt in my hand. Justin Gaethje gives cold response to Dustin Poirier's trilogy offer after UFC 324 title win. Justin Gaethje responded to 2-time UFC rival Dustin Poirier's recent comeback teases after the interim champ's UFC 324 win. Justin Gaethje reclaimed the UFC interim lightweight title earlier this month at UFC 324 as he handed Paddy Pimblett his first defeat in the octagon. Gaethje put on a throwback performance against Pimblett to earn the interim belt and a likely clash with lineal lightweight champion Ilia Topuria. Gaethje likely only has a handful of fights left before he hangs up the gloves. His longtime coach, Trevor Whitman, recently admitted that his pupil's current title push is the final chapter of his career. After Gaethje's victory at UFC 324, his former rival Dustin Poirier teased a potential comeback fight for a trilogy with the newly crowned interim champ. Dustin retired after a loss to Max Holloway at UFC 318 last summer. Dustin's a warrior, and I'll always respect him. If he really wants to come back and the UFC wants that fight, I'd do it. But I'm focused on moving forward, not backward. I've got goals I'm chasing, and that's where my attention is. Since announcing his retirement at UFC 318, Dustin has stuck around mixed martial arts as a television analyst for the promotion. He's previously admitted that potential fights with Nate Diaz and Justin Gaethje would likely pull him back into fighting.